Today, viewers, I thought we would take a look at some vintage Kenner Indiana Jones items. It's pretty much the extent of my collection, such as it is. Right now, we're going to first start looking at the Will of the Souls playset. Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Will of the Souls action playset, the hiding place of the ancient Ark. And I didn't have this as a kid. I remember seeing it in stores though, and if I recall, I think I was curious if it might come with the Indiana Jones figure, because I was really needing the Indy figure, and was disappointed to find out that it said action figure sold separately. Because Indy is figured so prominently on the box that as a kid you think, well, is he in there? But nope, just a mummy and a bunch of snakes. It's a really awesome playset though, particularly because of the vac metallized art that it comes with. And I enjoy reading these captions on the pictures. Oh no, snakes are guarding the Ark. Let's move the Ark to a safe place. A mummy! We're trapped, Indy. Let's escape through here. Some nice photography on the box. And this is a graded example. Pictures on this package may sometimes differ from the model enclosed. Graded by CAS, 1982 Kenner Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark Will of Souls action playset, 75. I remember these vintage Raiders of the Lost Ark toys being out when Temple of Doom was already out, so they were in stores for a long time because Temple of Doom was out in 1984, in the summer of 1984, and so these were out even after that. Here's a Kenner Indiana Jones figure, also recently graded by CAS. As a kid, I saw Temple of Doom before I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark. And as I mentioned before on my channel, I remember being able to see Temple of Doom, which was kind of a violent movie for a kid of my age at that time. I think I was about 7 or 8. But I was able to see it because I went with my older brother and his friend, and it was sort of a loophole, parental guidance loophole, because my brother and his friend, I guess their parents allowed them to go see it. My parents didn't really know about the movie that we were going to see, that somebody's heart would be torn out and he'd be lowered into lava, and all the kind of violence and graphic scenes in Temple of Doom. Of course, Raiders is very similar, with people's faces melting and all. This is the initial release of the figure, because it's the 4-back, and these were released in 1982. During what was the first wave or first series 1, and they released the Will of the Souls and the Map Room playset with series 1, along with those 4 figures. Of course, Raiders of the Lost Ark was out in 1981, so there was about a year gap where you couldn't get the figures, And then when you could get the figures, the movie wasn't out, so it was kind of out of sync. And that's another reason why people speculate that the Kenner line was not that successful, because you have to strike when the iron is hot, so to speak, when the movie's out and creating a sensation. Here's Indiana Jones in German uniform. This was a Series 2 figure, and you could find these in abundance on the shelves, on the hangers. Because even though it's Indiana Jones, and he's got a nice 5 o'clock shadow beard, looks kind of like a wino. It's just not the same. He doesn't have his iconic uniform costume with his leather jacket and his fedora hat. That's what you really need as a kid. That Indiana Jones figure is kind of the without which nothing for playing Indiana Jones. You've got to have that figure. And as I said, they probably didn't produce enough just Indiana Jones figures for the line to really be successful with kids. This is the Series 2 wave of figures, you can see there. And we'll also take a look at a loose Kenner map room example that I have here. I also have one in the box, but it's at CAS right now being graded, along with a Streets of Cairo playset that's at CAS being graded. But here's the Indiana Jones figure. Nice looking figure. In this version of the figure, if you take off the cloth robe, he just has his white shirt on, or his tan shirt on, and you could pop the head off and switch heads with the Indiana Jones with his fedora hat, and you could have a good Streets of Cairo version of Indy, which I did as a kid. Did anybody else do that? Here's the little plastic base, the map, ancient Egypt. Some nice detailing in the map. This little model piece. And here are the accessories that it came with. You have a pickaxe, a grappling hook, the staff of Ra, a little notebook, and of course Indy's satchel. So this was a nice piece to have, because you could get that satchel and add that to your Indiana Jones ensemble. That staff of Ra is really nicely detailed. That grappling hook, I think, is the same grappling hook that came with the AT-AT and the survival kit accessories that came with the AT-AT. So that's a map room playset. Kind of a nice set. I remember getting the map room. It's kind of a consolation prize for going back to school one time, late summer. Here's the evil German Tot, or Tote, I guess you say. He was a pretty creepy depiction of a German Secret Service SS guy. But I remember my brother and I used to always imitate Tot. When we were tormenting each other, as kids will do. Live the exciting adventures of Indiana Jones. So Tot was one of the first 4 figures released as well. It's got a vinyl or plastic rubber cape, or coat rather. So this is a very awesome toy line, and I have very fond memories of it as a kid, even though it was hard to come by those indie figures. What are your memories of this toy line? Were you able to get your hands on the Indiana Jones figure? I remember the excitement of when I first finally discovered an Indiana Jones figure, and that led me to buy other figures. But without having the Indiana Jones figure, it didn't make sense to buy anything else. So that was kind of maybe the curse of this toy line, is how essential Indiana Jones was to it, and how scarce he was as a figure. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.